Hello, my beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the tavern. We are sculpting a Hobgoblin Barbarian today. Specifically a Berserker, so it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. That is not my current screen. Oh, goodness. I was gonna make a joke about that right before I started stream, just being like, you know, things are just fighting me today. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna start with that and be positive. And I look up and I'm like, that is not my screen. There we go. Restarted my feed. We're all set. It's okay. I will win. Alright, I started working on this character yesterday. Obviously not a Hobgoblin Barbarian. But I made a lot of good progress on her. I did a lot of this work on secret stream, and Discord. We've been doing a lot more like voice chat, video call, hangouts in Discord. So if that's something that you would be interested in, I encourage you guys to hang out. It's mostly a mix between people streaming art and video games, and then with a heavy overlay of wargaming chat seems to be the default. But anyway, if any of those things interest you, it'd be a good time. Hello, Just Linkable, welcome in. Oh, super fun, kind of annoying thing that's been happening here. This is my secret YouTube view, admin view I have. If you can see this, Just Linkable, I know it's very small. Here's your chat, and it says current. I know you didn't say that. YouTube's probably been smart and auto-translate things, which is really annoying. So if I hover over it, you see there's like some kanji right there with the letter A as well. And now it says strum. And that's what you said, like a joke on strum. But I have to hover over to see what you said because YouTube is trying to translate, you hooligans. And because peasants are always saying nonsense, half of your guys' stuff is like translated on my side. I've tried to disable it, and there's nowhere to disable it first. Whenever YouTube rolls out a new feature, it's like, congrats, new feature. Here you go, new feature. You're having it. I'm like, oh no, I'm good, thanks. It's enough slices. Anyway, so if I don't know what you're saying, it's because you're literally talking gibberish, and I'm going to need you to speak English. Mostly when you guys ask questions, you ask it like in English, so I think we're okay. Indeed. Thrum. If you're wrong enough, it doesn't correct it, so. Alright. Alo was complaining that I didn't share my Discord feed's also not working. I swear I'm gonna have a fit. Why? Come on, there we go. Right here, they were just like, yeah, on your website, you have this. I didn't know you finished him. And I was like, was I not supposed to? And Aloha was like, you gotta show him off on stream. And sorry, Aloha, that was so long ago that I finished that. It doesn't even exist in my quick saves anymore. It's not even here. So, no, you cannot have it. Anyway, really cool model release yesterday with this very handsome hair on a tortoise. So yeah, check it out. It's on Patreon. All right. Hello, Nifty. Maybe it's a language translating weirdly. And hi, hello again. Strum is a Dutch word, and apparently it means current. Yeah. Sad, Aloha. Yeah, I'm sorry. My answer is no, you cannot have that. Oh my goodness, Just Lingual. It's doing something over there. I know you said something nonsense. I'm gonna hover over it. Okay. That's annoying. I don't know, I expect her to tell you, I'm like, hey guys, don't do that. And you're like, okay, let's make the model for today. Today model. Also, I think she turned out like awesome. Really cool. Okay, I have to get the body. Big man, Hulk man. Is paint here yet? No, that's totally fine. Oh, Catfish is here. I came to say hi. I am working still. Very good. Very good. Oh my gosh. That sounds right, Aloha. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Alright. Let's start with a basic project here. This is the reference board that I grabbed. Some of these are Hobgoblins, some are not. I have mixed feelings on Hobgoblins. These two are Hobgoblins. This technically is too. It's like, what's a Hobgoblin? It's just a big goblin. Less goofy on the features, taller, bulkier, burlier. But you can kind of, even like the placement of the ears and the way that it's done, it's kind of all over the place. So I have my own like Sasquatch goblin take. Anyway, we're gonna make this cool. Let's get a big burly body going. This is true. We are also starting a new country together. Who rules this country? I need to know more. Heads up, I am just not very chatty today. No particular reason. So, yeah. If you guys want like narration of general sculpt stuff, I'll try to kind of just do what I normally do. But if I'm missing normal wordage, let me know. I know I don't have like a target word count to hit necessarily on stream, but I can already tell that I'm kind of just like content to sit here and not talk. And that's not usually what I do. Let's get him a little heavier. I'm not paying attention to the head really at all. There we go. Yeah. Big man. Get the model. Okay. Sounds good. All right, we have our initial base mesh here. And let's get this thrown into a scene. Start piecing stuff together. I've been adding a base earlier and earlier. I really like placing them somewhere. We'll go something simple, just like some broken up rocks. Right here. Very good. And we'll make him hobgoblin-y in just a second. First, perhaps we should give him some pants. Hello, Jack. Hey there. Welcome in. I have so many different... I don't know if you're the Jack that I know or if you're new. Are you old Jack or are you new Jack? I don't know. All right. Foxy is pretty open-ended with this, just wanting a really big, burly, barbarian, berserker, hobgoblin with a loincloth and bare chest is really what all they specified. So we get to have, oh, and a greatsword wielding with two hands. So we got some options. I thought I had a little default loincloth in here. No? I'm in disbelief. Okay. That's fine. Thinking about how I want to do this belt area. Got some options. Whenever I have a character that has very little clothes, I find it really benefits the model if I spend a little extra time thinking how to make all of that look. So, you know, it looks its best. I don't think it's even worth grabbing these pieces unless they're single-sided. Yes, I think this one's single-sided. I like this base a lot because it's super easy to peel off anything that I don't need. Mirror and weld, very good. And I really just want these tabards and nothing else. There we go. Huzzah, close. It's a lot of bare leggage, so I don't... We'll see what we do. They did say just a loincloth, but that's a lot of thigh. It is a hobgoblin, so I do plan to add a fair amount of hair. It's just gonna look like a Sasquatch. Old Jack. Welcome back, Jack. Alo says, I don't really see hobgoblins or alt versions of races given as much love. Yeah. I'm not sure why. I feel like hobgoblins just aren't really common as part of it. Alright, we're definitely not going to give him shoes. Too civilized. And I do have a collection of heads I can draw from. And I've done a few hobgoblins recently. Interestingly, I actually did a female hobgoblin somewhat recently. Thinking here for a second. Without the facial hair, it's so much less hobgoblin-y looking. I think I did one. Oh, I'm confusing this with a bugbear. I was really thinking bugbear. That's why I was like, gonna add a bunch of hair. This is not the same thing. This is not a bugbear. Oh, shit. Thinking now. I don't know why that was like so stuck in my head, and now that I'm thinking of this, I'm like, I was gonna do a totally wrong race entirely. To me, like again, bugbears aren't used very often either, so I kind of just, I guess I threw them into the same brain bucket, and now that I'm actually looking through this bucket, I'm like, wait a minute, these are not the same thing at all. I don't have a male hobgoblin. Oh. Okay. Alright then. It's okay, Mia, we can handle the thigh. I don't trust you guys. Does anyone know what the official difference between goblin and hobgoblin is? Hobgoblin, bigger, more goblin, humanoid goblin. Like, straight up, it's just like a larger goblin. It's a... Okay, I actually screenshotted the exact definition because I had that exact question. Hobgoblins are large goblinoids with dark orange or red-orange skin. A hobgoblin measures virtue by physical strength and martial prowess, caring about nothing except skill and cunning in battle. So they're a little like they're a little more organized than goblins. They're not as stupid. Think of them like first example was a bad example. Think of them like minions versus like mid-tier boss. These are not the minions. More like an orc? They are just fucking orcs. They are orcs without tusks, let's be real. Yeah, well put. Well put. That's why they're not popular, because they already exist. It's like, I don't want my orc to be green. I want it to be red. And they're like, great, here's a hobgoblin. Alright. You say hobgoblins aren't common, but one is at the very beginning of the official starter campaign, so you'd think there'd be more. Huh, that's true. Wait, maybe I'm also thinking bugbear. That'd be funny. That'd make me feel a lot better if we were both. I even took screenshots of bugbears. Wow. Dodge that bullet. I would have felt so bad because Foxy would be like, why is my hobgoblin so hairy? And I'd be like, because it's a bugbear? No. Okay. Well... I have lots of goblins' heads, but they're for like little dudes. I have a young, happy goblin. I have an old one, but these are, again, little dude proportions. I need like a large dude proportion. I like this female hobgoblin a lot, actually. I don't usually go female to male. I usually go male to female when I'm altering sculpts. Okay. We can do this. Hello, Max. Welcome in. I was about to make a full bugbear and realize that's not a hobgoblin. It almost happened. All right, we're going to take this female head and we're going to make it a dude. Because I like a lot of the proportions here. I like the ears especially. Yeah, you would have to. I'm glad you guys got my back. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove the eyelashes and hope I didn't bust up the eyes. Sometimes I do that. Yeah, it turned out fine. I gave her this really pursed expression, which I do enjoy, but... Alright, I'm going to female to male. Few general adjustments I do. Larger nose, larger ears. I'm gonna have these probably a little more upturned. Similar nose shape. I do really like this nose shape. Square off the jaw. Really just adding more everywhere. You have to be very careful. This happens more often than I care to admit. When I'm trying to change proportions of a model and I do it evenly across the whole thing. So if you make everything about a model proportionally larger, you end up with the exact same thing you started with. I've done this more times than I care to admit, where I'm like, oh, it's pretty much the equivalent of doing this. And that was annoying. So just be aware that, like, don't do that. That's my advice. What I was going to say before I just rambled off. Just be aware of what proportions you want to enlarge, because the answer cannot be everything. Otherwise you lose the whole point of how proportions work. Let me give him really fun, fluffy eyebrows. I'm also going to hide the eyebrows and give some more like classically male features, which is some minor skull differences. Subdivide this once, Dynamesh. Ooh, Dynamesh at a much higher resolution. That'd be a lot more sculpting than I feel the desire to sign up for right now. There we go. I'm gonna come over here with my soft brush and come on, and build up those forms I was talking about. Again, a stronger brow ridge, and a stronger chin. I'll probably change the shape of the eyes a fair amount as well. Slowly looking more male. I get asked all the time, it's like, what if I want to make a character that's more like androgynous or vague? You just start mixing and matching features. So you have maybe like a classically strong chin, but maybe you have like softer set eyes or whatever. And then there you go. I personally find making characters that are a little more androgynous a little easier to make look appealing when you mix and match. So if you're feeling like really stuck or frustrated with a model you're working on or sculpting or even drawing, because you're trying to like very classically male or female, just start doing a little mixing and matching, and I find your characters will look more interesting. Because it's pretty rare that you'll meet someone that has solely male or like again, I say male or feminine features. Some of them are classically baked into bone structure, but a lot of them are cultural. But anyway, most people have a mix of features anyway. So don't be afraid to mix and match. Thinking what else I want to do here. His eyes are really large, so I'm not going to change that. I am sculpting the face of a character that's going to be angry. So I also will look angry sculpting it. Don't know why, but it's a really common artist thing. I used to like really intentionally make sure to like soften my face if I was sculpting stuff like this, and I find it's not worth the effort. I'm just gonna look mad while I sculpt it. And now he looks sad and kind of distressed. Fear not. We're not done. We will get mad. It will happen. I thought I had all this merged down. There we go. Pretty good. doing today? I didn't even ask yet. What are you guys up to? It is a Wednesday. We are halfway through. I am more than halfway through. Fun fact, every Thursday is my Friday. I don't work on Fridays. Alright, pretty pleased with how this is turning out. I haven't done much work on the nose yet, which is not an accident. It's usually a pretty intentional avoidance. I really like noses. They just require so much thinking. Gonna make the jowls a little more pronounced here. And let's bring in some eyebrows. Ooh, those are a little high, aren't they? There we go. Very luscious eyebrows. Hello, Paint. Welcome in. What are you having for dinner, Max? Jack said he went from about to cry to seeking revenge in one stroke. Relatable. Justlingual's up to an FEA software that can't be named. Good. And heat transfer. Justlingual is at the end of their formal engineering education, and I also did that. So there are certain softwares that they use that I banned them from talking about because I hated it. I'm mostly being petty. They're using ANSYS, and it's stupid. I hate ANSYS. Ugh. Anyway, good one. I don't know why I'm always surprised that when I ask you guys a question, like, oh, what are you guys up to? And then I look in the chat and like everyone answered. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know. I'm mostly just talking. It's not that I didn't want to know. I did. I am surprised by engagement. Thanks for talking to me. There we go. That's what I'm looking to say. I wonder if Aloha is going to quit because I didn't show the model they asked for. I feel rebellion cooking. What shape are Hobgoblin ears? Good lord. You can't be every shape. Alright. Eyeballs. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm counting the planes of the eye. In case you're like, she's just out here counting now. Making sure that the plane changes, direction changes on the eye are really clear. I do like this face. Kind of forgot to give him an Adam's apple, didn't I? I don't know if I've ever intentionally sculpted one of those. Where is that? Oh, it's so high. The heck? Okay. Yeah, that does look more right. He's looking less mad again. His character just does not want to be in a rage. You're a berserker, you have no choice. His ears are kind of weird. Look better. I'm missing a piece. This piece. Along with a couple other things. There's supposed to be like a Y shape going on in here. Okay, we're gonna look at an ear reference. Ah, there it is. There's a piece right here that comes up. It's always worth trying. Just look at a reference. Or actually, that's a good thing. It's always worth trying, period. Anyway, with your art. So it's okay if it's not perfect, but just making any effort to be like, I'll look at a reference. It's worth it, I promise. And this plane here is pretty large. I do that for 3D printing, but I don't have to show it, if that makes sense. I can kind of like hide it on the back of the model. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, and then to make it more goblin-y, I don't know if I want the head to be like flatter and more severe. They've got this like really sharp nose. I did that. Angle the eyes a bit more. They really have a larger nose than that. More nose, more. There we go. I'm liking that. You kind of have some interesting patterns on some of them too. I wouldn't mind including that on mine. I think even more cheekbone as well. Yeah, that'd be fun. Hello, Jimmy. I'm counting the seconds till my coffee is done brewing. Ooh, second coffee. I might get second coffee. Oh my god, just lingual. I had to skim that comment twice before reading it out loud. That is the most unhinged thing I've ever heard just lingual say. If I trigger a seizure of my wife, do you think he'd give me an extension so I don't have to do this project? She'd probably be down. She does love you a lot, but you're so close to graduating, just lingual. Don't do that. Also, you're like big smart. You got this. King Max says, just lingual, that sounds like a totally foolproof and ethical plan. Oh my goodness. Oh, meanwhile, Aloha being translated by YouTube. So yeah, this is what keeps happening. Do you guys see this? So Aloha's mad at me, threatening to quit. And just very, very helpful, YouTube has translated their little angry face to angry face. Driving me crazy. If YouTube could stop trying to translate my incoherent peasants, that would be great. I like them just the way they are. I'm also very partial to classic typing out emojis. I really wish we came up with a different word for that, but we didn't. Even though I like women a lot because women, sculpting men is so much more fun. So many more like creases and nonsense. I guess I don't like sculpting young women as much. Yeah, that's the caveat. Which is funny because I do enjoy pinups. I don't know. Listen to like half the things I say today. We're in a, I think we're in a mood today. There we go. The forward tilt of the ear is an interesting choice. It's also a very small choice, so I can do whatever I want. I'll just go ahead and bend that back a bit. There we are. I still don't like how stiff. They're more like this on a lot of the Hobgoblins. Okay, wow, just doing that was really nice. Okay, great. Good job, hand. I lost the bridge of the nose. We have lost the bridge. We'll bring it back. It goes from the top of the glabella here. And it's always much thinner than I expect it's going to be. Interesting, weird nose shape. Very good. All right, let's make the chin more chinny chin chin. Yeah, I really like this part of the mouth. This like squishy part. I don't know. Whenever I add that, I'm like, ooh, that's satisfying. All right, we're gonna make his neck a little fleshier. More neck. All right, very good. We have malified the head here. Let me go ahead and save this, and then I'll show you guys a side-by-side of the female and male head. And I would love to answer any questions you guys might have about that, because this is a really challenging one. All right, here's the female head. And then the male head side by side. And no, I didn't sculpt one and the other for educational purposes. It's just easier for my brain than doing it from scratch to keep things as stylistically similar as possible. It looks weird without perspective. This is with perspective, but then it looks like they're looking in different directions. Now that I'm looking at them side by side, I am tempted to lower the jaw and stuff, but I find sculpting on top of the same thing keeps it more racially similar. She's got some wrong things with the planes of her cheeks, but that's okay. That's okay. The fun thing about learning more about your art is then you look at everything you did before and you're like, ah, that thing is missing. But it's okay. Yeah. Aloha says, I have a question. Where is the rabbit turtle? Oh my lord. All right, I need to go pull up an old model that I released so Aloha does not quit. Ooh, dramatic. It is a really good model, so I'm happy to share it. All right. I did a rabbit folk monk riding a giant tortoise recently. Funny enough, this was a request on Kickstarter. I had a fancy tier, a $50 enchanted architect tier, where you could request a model, and they're really commissions because I will just do them guaranteed. But then you can't tell me what to do once it's done. That's why it's a request. Anyway, this one is obviously two models. It's a rabbit folk monk riding a tortoise. And I told them that the request was illegal and they did not follow instructions. And then I'm like, I'm doing it anyway because it was such a good idea. So yeah, are you ready, kids? I didn't even like SpongeBob that much. That's a lie. I watch it all the time. All right, here it is. I am pretty proud of this. Yeah. I did sell approximately 1 year of my life to learn how to pose the legs cross-legged. That was an ordeal. But I learned stuff. Let's do a little spinny. It's pretty awesome. Aloha was just overall big mad about this model because they saw the tortoise and they're like, you didn't stream the tortoise either. And I'm like, nope. Oh my gosh. I'm especially proud of the head on the hair. I just feel like there's a semblance of style that I don't think I've done before. It obviously looks a little low poly because this is decimated down. But yeah, isn't that nice? It's kind of like wood carving looking. All right, I think Aloha will no longer quit. Which is good. They do good work. Please don't quit. Jack says, so much detail. Looks great. Thank you. Thank you, Paint. I appreciate it. Just Lingual says, I actually want that so bad. Aren't you already a patron? It's on Patreon now. It released Monday. You have this. I didn't back the campaign, though. It doesn't matter. Patrons get everything. You good, hun. That's the beauty. That's the magic. It might be a legendary only. That's the only catch. I'm not sure if you're a legendary patron or not. But see, this is, God, if Ricky's watching, we have a lot of talks about business, believe it or not. And we are doing a poor job explaining how much patrons get. And this is the good example of that. Just Lingual, someone who's very active in the community, not knowing that this awesome model, they have it. How do you not know? What am I doing wrong? So this is the post that went out Monday. I don't know why it says yesterday. It definitely came out Monday. I wonder. I'm trying to see it with like a clear mind. But anyway, these are all the models that released a couple days ago. We did a tripwire, and I was really impressed that my husband tied like a string on this, and I'm like, how'd you tie that tiny knot? He's like, I didn't. If you just loop it around enough times, it kind of grabs onto itself. And I was like, oh, that's kind of brilliant. But there it is printed with a normal size D20 next to it. It's so nice. But yeah, those are all released. Pretty much all of them. Most of them are rare releases, and then Legendary gets everything. So there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Just Single says, I thought it was Legendary. I assume my favorite models are Legendary. Also, I've been too busy checking emails this week. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Jack says, do you release on Patreon what you release on Kickstarter? Yes. Yes. It's very important to me that the Legendary tier on Patreon is all of M3DM. There's no, oh, well, but there's this campaign or this monthly exclusive. Nope. If you are Legendary, you get it all hands down. That being said, we're going to be changing stuff soon. So just putting that out there. If you like the current price point and structures, get in now. Because I never go back on stuff. Once I offer something, it's forever. I have about 100 people that still back me on Patreon at the $1 tier. And they get access to everything. I do not go back on my word. These people have backed me since 2018 and 2019. That's when that tier went away. So, yeah. Join on Patreon. All right. Also, just single, Monday was your birthday. So if you're a rare patron, but you really wish you had this single Legendary model, I can send it to you. Happy birthday. I don't mind. Ricky rolling over the living room like, that's not business. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. All right. Back to our Hobgoblin. Jimmy says, I wish all sculptors paid as much attention to scale that you do. I really appreciate you saying that. You're great. I do my best. I have a lot of work. I'm just saying, as you go through my work, you'll be like, why is this so small or so big? Like, I wasn't always good at it, but I always tried. I take your compliment, but also cautiously, all of it's not great. But I offer a no base version. So if you're like, what is this? This is a disaster. You have the power, at least. I'm kind of chronically honest. Yeah, that's another thing I have going. Gets a nice compliment, and I'm like, oh no, that's not entirely true. I accept your compliment. I went back in time and I stopped. I was not weird about it. Oh, he looks so weird. Look at his little skinny legs. Thank you, Aloha. I appreciate that. Business is happy customers and happy owner. This is true. All right, the only issue here is these little tiny legs. Dude, definitely skip leg day. Good lord. All right, how do we fix leg day? Well, how do we fix leg day? First thing is the feet are very small. So I'm gonna make those larger just right from the get-go. Larger, scoot them over. Sweet. I will also grab my move brush with back base mask and make it a little larger. And then I'll come in with my clay brush and add more muscle. Look at these funny little flipper feet he has now. Trust the process. All right, I'm using move and back face mask and being very careful in the way that I do this because the front of the shin does not curve, right? It's flat. So when I add volume to the front of the shin, I just click and drag straight. But when I do it on the back where there's this calf, I grab more up here, making sure I'm preserving that curve. That's a little teaser of the lesson that I'm going to be doing on the stream somewhat soon for paint about making larger or just different body types. There we go. So here's the before. He's got kind of like skinny little calf legs, but they're not bad. And then here they are bulked up quite a bit with the feet being much larger. The proportions are also kind of whack. We got work to do. Those are some long legs. Good lord. All right, let's bring that down. Wider, wider, wider. I also make the feet kind of unreasonably tall and chunky because, you know, that's where they break from. All right, we're getting there. The bald is certainly a choice. So I sculpted the face already, and now I'm doing additional changes to it. That's because I always kind of tweak the faces and the heads for each model just a little bit. It's all starting to blend together and look more cohesive. It's also going to have this awesome greatsword, so let's go ahead and pick that up for him. Hello, Foxy. I come in and I just see feet. What more could you want? You missed the part of the stream where I was totally going to sculpt you a bugbear and add all this hair. And I was like, man, I feel like something about this is going to be wrong. And I'm like, that's because it's not a bugbear. It's a hobgoblin. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. It's okay. All right. I want a greatsword. I got a couple that could be a good option. The one I'm looking for, I don't see. Where are you? Okay, I don't see it here. So I might need to make it again. That's fine. We'll go with this rune one for now. Bam. Greatsword. That's an older model too, so this doesn't have separate pieces. That is fine for now. Okay. And then because Barbarian, we're gonna go with that very classic Dorito shape. So even though he's already absolutely jacked right now, we're gonna push the proportions more like so. Really starts to get more of that Barbarian puffed up look. And yes, Foxy, it's a lot of thigh. We're gonna fix that. The peasants see nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, it's a lot of thigh. I don't think you meant for, I don't think you're asking for a pinup. I mean, you're a lot of fun, but I don't think that's the model you're asking for. All right, we do need to add more calf muscle. Why is leg day so hard? Calf muscle kind of has like two components to it, just like your like bicep, tricep. I said one of those muscles correctly, and the other one's not the one I meant to say. Okay. There we go. More definition, less butt, more trap. Very good. Very good. Thick thighs save lives. This is true. The Hobgoblin pinup. Did the model send correctly? I think so, Paint. I think so. I have it download it, I believe. We'll probably do that somewhat soon. Slowly making his face more Chad. I don't know what hair to give him. Thinking like a Viking samurai sort of ponytail. We'll see. Let's just throw some hair on him and see what we like. I do have this like really messy. What is this? Why are there so many of you? Ah, I see what I did here. Forgot about that. It's not what I wanted. Foxy's not very picky, but if you had a hairstyle that you wanted, feel free to make a request. I think a lot of them have this like kind of the hairstyle I have now. Half up, half down with a like a little pony. Yeah, we'll give him the Mia. I don't know, I'm finding that really funny. I feel like the really intense Widow's Peak is necessary as well. Yeah, we can start with this, see how it looks. This looks like a cape. Oh, he's gonna look like... This is not gonna be what I want. This is gonna require some shaping. It's gonna look all like, yeah, like Legolas. Okay, okay. Aspects of this work. So I might workshop it. I gotta give it that ridiculous super hairline. And I wasn't planning on the like luscious hair look. All right, this corner up here needs to be more defined. Because I do kind of have this crazy hairline. Finding this funnier than I should. Why is this going to be such a trust the process model? You want them bald? But like, hair. Okay. Yeah, the lion head you have in there could be a good tribal mane to put on him. Yeah? That's what I was thinking too. I was going with luscious. We were all thinking luscious. Foxy's like, what are you doing to my man? All right. In that case, I will at least detail his noggin. His very perfectly smooth, which is a little jarring. That means I have to sculpt this muscle and visible. No problem. It actually looks really good. We almost had luscious locks for this Hobgoblin, but alas. That looks really funny. Not the bald, the way that this head is connecting right now. His expression looks kind of timid right now. Like he's like thinking about being mad, but he's not actually mad. We need to make this actually mad. No hair. Gotta big it up for the bald guys. All right, this is for you guys. Oops, what is happening? Stop it. Nothing wrong with being bald. There is something wrong with balding and not shaving your head. Just, it always looks better, I promise. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. The bald subreddit is frequently recommended to me because I always enjoy the little transformation of the before and after every single time. I'm one of those ladies that just like, good job. I mean, I don't actually comment or do anything, but I give them an upvote. It's getting there. It's getting there. Foxy says, also to challenge Mia to leave her comfort zone of all minis with hair. No, this is great. If you're gonna ask for less work, I'm all about that. Yeah. Yeah. Nifty says, maybe start a new trend. Invert a receding hairline look. Boom. Got it. If you wait long enough, everything is in fashion at some point. Seriously. Okay. This belt, I'm just not a huge fan of it. I just don't like it. How much more Barbarian-y can I go? I do want some little hip tacit things too. All right, I got a plan. I have a plan. Be gone. This can stay. I might use you. Nope. Yes. Wow, how is that wrong twice? There we go. I like when some of the fabric sticks over the top. I know you said just loincloth, but it looks so weird with so much thigh. I just want like a little bit of fabric poking out through the belt. I like these really large belts right here that cover a lot of the belly. I think it looks cool. So that's what we're going to do. Belt creation in progress. Ripped bald hobgoblins are so Wednesday. Oh, goodness. All right. Chunky belt. We're actually going to make this single-sided. So it's about to be a nothing belt. Bam. Nothing belt. That looks so much better than the belt I had before. All right, and then some of this shape. That's nice. I like that. Foxy will be honored to know that this morning I was looking for a request to live stream. I actually skipped over some models and landed on yours. I didn't even know you'd requested it. It was just the one that sounded like the most fun. And the most straightforward. It made sense. I could visualize it. I got some requests coming up that I'm just like, all right, I know I can make that look good with no small effort, but I know I can. All right, there is some tatter. Why won't you shred? There we go. There's one. And then we're gonna do some layering. Technically, there is going to be many loincloths. Because more layering is more better. That's better. Yes. Foxy said, I did think, wow, yeah, I got to my next model fast. Oh, I am cooking right now too. I am ripping through requests. So every week I work on the next week release. Not the upcoming, but the next week. So I'm always 1 week ahead, but that's like the churn rate I have. I have completed next week. This is really hard to explain. I'm normally 1 week ahead. I'm now 2 weeks ahead. So I'm now working on that following week. This is normally work I would be doing next week. God, there's no other way to phrase that other than the week, next week, next. That's like biannual. Is it twice a year, every 2 years? Someone please clarify that for me. But yeah, it's good stuff. Ripping through requests. Very happy about it. I kind of smoothed his nipples into nothing. That's okay. We don't need them to be really prominent. And the goal was never to be current with the request board. It's just to have like an endless font of creativity that I can draw from. But I do like getting as many requests done as possible quickly because it feels like I'm delivering little presents, and I really enjoy it. Because I'm getting so far ahead, and I have been for a while, I am starting to deliver people's files to them directly on Patreon instead of having them wait for the release. Because like Foxy, this model isn't slated to go out until like the end of April. But it's going to be done probably today, so I'll just send it to you. We do have some big changes coming to Patreon. New stuff, old stuff, changes, blah, 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 blah. If you don't want any changes, be a patron now, because I never go back on current tiers. They will always get what I promise. Always. But if you cancel and then you want your old tier, it doesn't work like that. Nice. Hello, Otaka. Welcome in. 14 days ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone did a better job. Thanks. Just Lingual, can you translate that to Goblin so I understand it better? More model, less time. More faster, more model. Or just 336 hours ahead. That's my favorite answer so far. Oh my goodness. Week after next? The week after the week after next? Yeah. Oh goodness. I'm glad we all enjoyed that. Okay. I got all these pieces. There we go. That's how much we're going to cover the thighs. Not a whole lot, but it's a little less jarring, I think. We're going to detail probably just one of these and then put them everywhere. Coolio. We can do like an asymmetrical moment here too, which I'm a big fan of. Big fan. All right, we're gonna duplicate this belt and then delete some layers off of it. What do you mean you're not symmetrical? Oh, you weren't. All right, I'll deal with that when I get to it. Let's delete these two. And then check it out. We will have a nice little center layer. Very good. I think a belt buckle could be cool. Like I kind of like it on this one here, but it might just look Dumb. It's gotta be a manly buckle. It's gotta be a barbarian buckle. I just think some wraps of some sort would be cool as well. I have this scarf that I've been repurposing for many things, and that might be cool for another sort of texture deal. Ooh, I do like teeth. I do like rope and teeth. We might wiggle that in somewhere. That'd be pretty metal if after, you know, he rages, he goes back through the battleground and rips out teeth of the enemies he is most proud to have felled. That would be pretty metal. I really can't see him taking time to intricately tie the teeth with a rope, though. I just feel like they would rage out trying to do that. Yeah, I just think some like fabric wrappings on the belt could be really cool. Because this guy has like no clothes, no hair, we are gonna make the sexiest belt loincloth thing you guys have ever seen. Man, I went through and like bulked up his legs a lot, and they still could be bigger. That's crazy. All right, let's see if I like this teeth layering thing. This is the world's longest autosave. There we go. Good job me not crashing the program. Okay, teeth and rope. Hello says, Mia is just assuming this guy is a reckless animal of rage, and not the distinguished gentleman Hobgoblin. Foxy was pretty clear. It's Berserker, Hobgoblin. I can't imagine a calm Barbarian Berserker. I feel like that goes in the face of their whole point. I don't know about this. Oh my goodness. Because I don't necessarily want to read like super tribal. Maybe, no, maybe I do. I think that fits there really well. It's a nice little bit of detail. Be a fun little thing to paint. Got some funny business going on back here. There we go. All right, let's review the specific request word for word. I would like to request a male Hobgoblin Berserker. All right. It is a dude. It does look Hobgoblin-y. His head could be taller. Big and wild and bare-chested with a loincloth and oversized two-handed sword. Yeah, that's super flexible. Very cool. All right. I feel like Hobgoblins actually have like really tall heads. Not necessarily pointy. Let's merge that down. Zoom out. There we go. Yeah, I feel like that's looking... Boop. Wow, it's a really sensitive adjustment, ZBrush. There, it's such a small adjustment, but I do like it. Not a huge fan of the lips either. They're fine. Want it to be a little thinner, and I would like if it was a kind of starting to do this a little more crooked. Yeah. Yeah. Empress is here. I sensed art happening. Aloha says, Mia, I know we joked about it, but this might actually be a model that doesn't require a ton of modeling. Perhaps. All right. I think I want him to be kind of obnoxiously shredded. Because right now this is kind of mushy. Let's make it not mushy. Let's tell that paint where to go. How are you doing today, Empress? It is a new month, which is always exciting. Though I always feel like my month really starts on the 5th, because that's like when I do all the payouts for business. So to me, this just feels like ongoing March until like the month turns over for me. Oops, that was a little too harsh. All right, let's get those traps nice and defined. Very nice. And the lats. And a little bit of butt muscle going on. A really common habit is to like hollow out the back of the knees, but they actually have volume. You know how I know that's a mistake? Because I did it for a long time. That knee muscle thing looks really good. All right, he's a little more cut looking. I do find some striations on the chest are fun. Let's pull these abs up a little bit. That top ab is a little small. And then I'll make them crooked later on, because I'm always surprised how crooked and different abdominal muscles are. There are very, very few references I've found men that have like symmetrical looking abs. They're usually all kinds of, you know, body shaped. All right, bring that collarbone out a touch. We're not gonna make the lats too much bigger. They're already freakishly, not lats, these are traps. They're already freakishly huge. Good stuff. Oh, good. I'm glad that you're recovering. Sound like a big day. Just slowly making this dude more and more jacked. I still think his legs are weird. No, they're good. Especially once I pose them. That'll be good. curious where I'm gonna put this sword too. Maybe him kind of like hunched forward and just like holding the sword, you know, like, I don't know, like down. Where's the arm? I don't know. I'll think about it. Reminder that I am not angry today. I'm just sculpting an angry looking character, and first, that's just, it is the least amount of effort to not fix my face. So I don't, I just kind of... just every now and then I like to give a disclaimer that I'm actually having a really good time. I think everyone should have a 1-month break. That would be nice. So this is a katana. It's not really a great sword, but if I size it up, it could be whatever I want. And it's kind of bitchin'. It's pretty cool. I think that fits a lot better than the other sword I have. I have like so little opportunities to use this sword, or this katana, because it's got so much personality. The blade I'll need to make larger just so it doesn't read the way it does. To be a great sword, it needs to be more like that. I think that could be really cool. What's a break, right? Lock in brows. Pain says, Mia, I put some poses refs. Oh my god, I put some post refs for great swords. Yeah, I looked at so many this morning and I really just kind of had a hard time. Okay, I would really like to see them, but Discord is like, it's a secret. What? I told you guys at the beginning of my stream that today has been kind of weird, like technology-wise. Things are just not working, so no worry. Let me just reopen it. Katana's cool, but how about he uses a musket axe? Oh, what? Sorry, ignore my stupid ask. A musket axe? What the fuck is that? It's like a gun lance for Monster Hunter, but instead of like lance, like, I don't know. I mean, it depends what it is. If it's cool, maybe I'll try it. Okay, is Discord just borked for everybody, or is it just me? I really would like to see these references. Maybe it works on my phone. Nope. Why am I being left out, Discord? Because my internet connection obviously works because my stream is working no problem. Just the specific IP address. No Discord for me. Aw. I want to see your guys' reference. Okay. Update failed. Yeah, I'm aware. Alright. I'll put you in Discord jail over here. I think all the little decorations are weird for this specific model, so I'm going to delete them and just have this. And again, I might even change this weapon once I get to see what we're all talking about. But I'm not currently invited into my own server, so there is that. Ooh, I don't know, I'm pretty attached to this sword. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, We'll detail stuff in the meantime. Ooh, is this cord working? This is very exciting. Ooh, it happened. I think it's because there's this big ugly ad it was trying to... Didn't ask. Alright. Bam. Yeah, I found this one earlier. But like none of these poses would work for a mini on like tabletop. Like this one, these two would, but the rest of these would be an absolute nightmare to play with. Same with this. Ooh, that has good potential. I could probably sneak that up on the base. Okay, I like the musket axe. I think that's really funny. Ooh, that's pretty. Musket axe is a very real thing. That's so cool. It's a musket pole arm. That is cool. Huh. I've just never seen this before in my life. That looks like it's straight out of Dark Souls. This one especially is very pretty though. Fuck off, big sword is awesome. It is. I'm just saying that some of these poses do not lend well for a mini. That's all. Not that they're not awesome. Funny. I'm gonna stick with this one for now. I remain unconvinced to do something different quite yet. Man, if I put horns and a tail on this thing, it'd be a really bitchin' tiefling. I need to stop saying bitchin'. I said that a lot when I was like in high school. I don't know why I'm saying it again. Like it doesn't fit with anything else I talk about. Why don't they lend well? Because if you're playing a like on a physical table and you have a mini whose weapon or some part of them lends way past their base size, it means anytime you put a mini next to them, you're gonna knock them over usually. Annoying. Very annoying. It doesn't have to be perfectly contained, but I've played with someone who was a bird man, Aarakocra, and their mini was cool, but the wings were like outstretched, like horizontal. And so like none of us could stand next to him on the sheet. It was just really weird. It made playing really weird. And then they fly in combat. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. That's totally bitchin'. Don't also start saying it because then I will really not stop saying it. Got a bit of an echo thing going on. These are nice. Ooh, I like that. These are great. These are really simple. This might be a little too low action for what? Holy butt. Okay, this might be a little too low action for what Foxy's wanting. I don't know. How in the world would he build both of those? Cool mini though. Because he's like, I just figured I'd probably make him kind of like raging, or we'll see. That's a bitchin' low guard. Oh, gosh. I don't know why I do this. Like I genuinely tell you guys not to do things. I will learn. Too bad. Now it's a vocal stem. Oh gosh. The chat just felt like, that's bitchin'. Hey, it's Otaka. I heard Dark Souls and Greatsword and knew I had a job to do. Amazing. All right. Let's throw this onto the big screen. So it's easier for everyone to see the collage. It's a cool sword. That one's very simple. That's also a cool pose too. We have it leaning. I'd pull the elbow down or back a little bit just so like the sword angle is slightly more vertical. But those are awesome. That's a ridiculously big greatsword. These are all really cool too. Very cool. Oh, the running is an interesting one. All right, whew, we're back. Thank you you guys for the pose refs. I actually appreciate that. Foxy, do you have an opinion on pose, or is this just like do your job thing? Just Single says, Mia, Brandon Sanderson said a great way to explore a world one's creating is to figure out how they swear. Huh, that's fair. Storm it. Okay, yeah. How does the Taverb swear in lore? Bitchin', no. Oh my goodness. I get you because like in the Nine Hells it's really common, like in Baldur's Gate. Handstand? My job. Okay. Paint, that is the hardest goddamn pose. This pose is good. Paint is king of hard poses. Torbit. All right, I'm gonna let this simmer. I just wanted an excuse to post Dark Souls stuff. Hey, you never need an excuse. Always welcome. Handstand. You know, I do have models that are doing a handstand. Just one. But that's still surprising to me that it's not 0. All right, we're going to do a little detail party here. Yeah, I agree. Paint, I'm going to start making you do the poses that you recommend for me. It's not that they're not good, it's just that they're like really hard. Guys, he is literally me. A black box. It's very dramatic. All right. We're doing some detail. And we're gonna do some organic goodness here, so I'm actually just gonna subdivide and then sculpt. Crazy, I know. I will 100% do that. Make me do poses. I am at work, though, so it's a little hard. I do have weapons using references as well, though. All right. Pick one of your bullshit hard poses, and I'll make sure to serve that back to you. Good stuff. I need to review the body you did. Which it looks pretty good. There was some weird knee stuff happening. But overall, I was very happy with the progress. Then this one I'm going to model more cleanly. Have a nice little variation. Not delete poly loop, let's extrude the whole thing. No. Very good. That can be visible? No. So what's gonna happen is this inner one's gonna look kind of like fabric as well, which I'm cool with. I have some really cool fabric brushes I can kind of layer on top of this to get some really neat effects. I just want a cool little painting bit in the middle here. It's gonna look like nonsense up close. But from a distance, it's gonna be a nice little something something. Subdivide this a few times. I'm gonna go with some secondary forms, giving some... Oh, that was an accident. But that was a good glitch. I'm gonna keep it. Secondary forms just being like these big like cracks. You can probably paint this as metal or a hide. Very good. And now some scratchy noise. Really starts to come together, doesn't it? Oh, Foxy, genuine question. You can chat post answer if you like. Do you want this guy to have any scars? It is a character that would lend well to scarring, but obviously very optional. Looks good. subdivide. Amazing. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are we talking about romance? We both have Empresses allergic to oranges, and is this guy romanceable? Foxy says, in Hobgoblin culture, Barbarian romances you. Scars are cool and add character. I agree. I'll add some scars. Never been with a Hobgoblin, but the masses wish to know. Masses sure just sound like you right now. Not that I'm judging. I always find you guys endlessly entertaining. So I'm gonna give this one piece a lot of love and attention. And this is going to be our star piece. And then we're going to use the same piece a bunch of times. The star piece is looking a little puffy. So we will depuff with a plain brush and then layer up the details one more time. Or maybe I can do that in a different way. Maybe I can negative contrast slider. Nah, I think I'm just being picky. I think it looks really good. Yeah. Just gotta let every voice in my head have an opinion and then try out that opinion. It's a secret to being a really good artist. What am I paying for? Tory branch of guards are cool too. Yes, and the Empress has a permit with a spoiler, so what did you post? Oh my god. And that's why the Discord chat is toggleable for my stream. All right, let's bring in this scar brush. So this guy could be the Karlach, perhaps. Foxy says, I have no idea. I just did like 8 months of Hobgoblin requests with no particular character in mind. It took me a hot minute to catch on to that. But yes, I too noticed that. I remember I asked you, I was like, what kind of, like if you want a fancy helmet, then she doesn't look like a Hobgoblin, so I'm like, pick one. And you're like, no, it's your job. And I was like, wait a minute, you don't have a specific vision for this. And I was like, okay, I will make decisions. I had a good time with it. Okay, real pose idea. Holding the sword up one-handed in a victory pose, in his other hand the head of the defeated enemy. That's gross. I like it. Terrible. We're doing it. I can do that. I think I have a head lying around. I have a whole head collection. I can do that. Hello, I said, wait, I just came back. Yeah. I don't know. You can't leave them unattended. Thanks. Trying to think where I'd like this scar to be. You know, I'm not going to add any scars probably. I'll add one at the belly until he's posed, and I can use it to like this really cool drawing attention. I would like to clip one of the ears just a touch. Do it on a larger part of the ear so I have a little bit more room to... There we go. I like that. Just a little bit of war damage for now. We'll keep layering it on. Oh my goodness. You guys are gonna scare off newcomers in the chat. Oh well. It's just one of those kind of streams. Okay, I don't need this to be so high poly, but I kind of do because I might change stuff. Nope. We're back to locked in brows. Okay, we don't need that piece anymore. All right. Oh, forgot something. What do we got, Foxy? What is this? By possession of this document, the person named above is permitted by law to oh my god! Never mind. Hook, line, and sinker. Okay. You guys have hurt my trust. Well, I'm glad you guys all get along for whatever it's worth. Empress saying, Foxy, I love you. Oh, goodness. Alright, let's add some variation here. Good. And then this little piece will be very reusable. Last stream was too wholesome, apparently. Balance is all things should be. I can't argue with that. Otaka says, scare off or attract newcomers. You never know. That's true. I don't know if I want to attract that. I don't know if I really have a say right now either. I'm glad you guys are having fun being deviants. All right, I'm starting to consolidate a lot of this down, which means we are nearing posing. Hasn't happened yet. I'm thinking I'm gonna do Foxy's idea here, but I also really like the look of this greatsword stabbed into the ground. Foxy said, I am glad you read ahead before reading out loud, as that could have been awkward. Oh, yes. It could have. If only. Yeah, no, we're good. Skimming the rest of it. No, I did good. I stopped at a good time. I love that Empress's name is on it. Oh my gosh. Can I have one too? Empress says, I don't know if you still do double poses for models. Not so much anymore. I had fun doing it for a while. And then it was on to the next thing. What are my mods talking about? I see the mod chat's going. Ah. Yeah, that'd probably work. I can send that your way. I think I already have it. Yoop. This is top secret. Can't show this to you guys. Speaking of Aloha / Reaper, but in this case, mostly Aloha, Ricky and I have some potentially big plans for this month and next month and all months going forward that might involve you. So just letting you know before you cook too hard for this month, leave some energy in reserves. I might need you. I can't read any of that out loud. Okay. All right. Let's give this a save. Hobgoblin, Barbarian. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here to look at Paint's model and do a little reviewage. All right. And I thought it was pretty relevant too, because I just worked on a big burly dude. Happy coincidence. Zoom in. There we go. Okay. So I didn't see the base that Paint worked with. This does look familiar. I believe this is what's in ZBrush. Is it this man? Kind of looks like this man. Okay. I like that you went in pretty heavy-handed, being like, this is a muscle group, this is a muscle group. It's looking very, like the way you block this out with subtools, which I do like. What I don't like is that it looks a little bit like the Michelin Man, right? But sometimes I think it's not a bad approach to do this Michelin Man thing and then blend everything together. I call them like construction lines. So it's definitely not something I haven't done before myself. The key things I want to draw attention to, because this is a tricky one, really pay close attention to the wrists and the ankles. These are areas that admittedly don't have a whole lot of material to build up on. But if you don't keep them in mind, it's going to look really, really weird. I'm also going to screenshot this because this is what Paint roughly used as a reference for this body, which I like doing this too, just going to Google Images, typing in a look that I want, and then just kind of drawing from many references. But if you'll notice, I mean, of course, all of them have their wrist covered. Good Lord. Though there is a pretty dramatic taper, bulk it up a little bit. It looks more aesthetically pleasing, and it'll help you a lot for miniatures specifically. All right. So I observed your technique. There were some things about it that I liked. Next thing, you were pretty heavy-handed with the amount of muscle groups you drew attention to. And if you're going to be this confident in your brushstrokes, you need to be a little bit more accurate. Right here, I'm a little confused. So you have your deltoids right here. And this stretches up and it actually tucks under your acromion, whatever. It's what your collarbone connects to right here. This muscle right here that you have kind of drawn in is made up. So let's do a little duplicate here. This shouldn't be here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some sculpting over. I'm not gonna make this perfect by any means, but just kind of simplify your forms. There we go. Similarly, you kind of have this weird bulge around the neck. Let's see if I can, there, I'm trying to tighten this up. This muscle here goes from behind your ear to the top of your collarbone. This is a really good, easy one to make things look convincing. And we're missing that here. So we have it here. I'm gonna kind of paint that back in. There we go. There's that connection point. And then we got some kind of muddiness here. I'm gonna smooth all of that out and bring that collarbone back. And again, this kind of wrap from the top, it kind of looks like a Cupid's bow. There we go. The pectorals themselves it's a shape I usually only see like in webtoons or manga. It's very cross between like pec and boob, which is fine. But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna want to broaden the top out to make it look less feminine. And you'll see on a lot of these guys, they are a lot more broad, especially this example here. We'll also tighten this up a little bit. And then we don't have any abdominal definition. I don't know if you intentionally left that out because you did everything else. But you just draw a line here, bring up that belly button a touch. And then, again, abdominals are funny because they're actually usually pretty crooked on people. But you can kind of just throw these on here. The belly button is at a point where a lot of these muscles are going to meet. So you have the 4-pack on top, and then the belly button right at the bottom, and then those 2 large ones. And that's the same pretty much in everyone. Some people get confused about this little muscle underneath the pecs every now and then. I kind of just smooth those out to keep things nice and simple. So just think 4-pack, belly button, 2 large abdominal muscles. All right, and we continue. I'm gonna bring out this pelvic bone a little more. And then this looks a little unsure as well. Let's kind of bring that over. We got some interesting stuff back here. Again, you kind of like, I have a hard time believing that you looked at a anatomical reference for this. This is okay to use in broad strokes, but none of these show the back. And it shows because right here, you kind of like made things up. Don't guess. I feel like my first piano teacher I had, Mary Sargent, she wasn't very nice. I feel like that a little bit right here where I'm like, no guessing. Like you have a semblance of what the trap muscle is here, but then you have this one, which is not a thing. So the trap muscle is more like a T, which I like because trapezius starts with a T and helps me remember that. But if you notice, as I kind of smooth these forms out, and then I'm just using the clay brush to build these forms on top, it's actually looking quite nice. The arms are pretty good. Surprisingly, your forearms are especially nice, all considering. They get a little bulbous here, so I'm gonna kind of just taper that in a touch. And then we're not gonna worry about the wrist translation right now because there's a lot to clean up there. Just make sure you have it a bit softer. There we go. Same with here, and the butt is incredibly round. So women, their butt is, the fat is more like a peach, right? So kind of like an upside down heart, and that's what you have here. But men, it's actually more like a heart, which means that this section here, that volume wouldn't be there. It'd be more like this. It's a bit more concave right here. I've looked at a lot of butts. Okay. Let's bring that in, simplify, simplify, simplify. Elbow is fine. I like that you actually have it on its own little island. That's the only like kind of Michelin man look you have going on here that I actually don't think it's a bad idea to keep that. It'll make it a little easier for when you pose to have that bony landmark. This is also really weird. You did not look at a reference. I'm not going to fix that because I know you know better. Grab a reference before you tackle the back of the model because you don't have enough of that knowledge yet. Even just smoothing it out though helps a lot. And then getting that taper. Said I wasn't gonna fix it, couldn't help myself. Similarly on the side, we kind of have that same issue. But there was a lot of really strong points here that you have for when you're checking stuff. This looks really good too. We've got a little overcomplicated in the knee area. I'm really just combining a lot of muscle groups you have here more than anything. And softening. Okay. This is very similar to the forearm, to where there are two main muscle groups around the tibia and fibia. Okay, a little quick correction there. All right, so this is kind of like my really quick edit or sculpt over. So here is the before and the after. You can kind of see the types of changes that I'm making. I'm bringing back a lot of like really key bony landmarks and simplifying a lot. But a lot of what you had here was pretty correct and looked pretty good. Proportions wise, the arms are a little short. They should fall closer to the thigh. Why is the symmetry so weird? Oh, because I moved the body. Anyway, when you take an arm and you bend it down, it should be about mid-thigh. I guess you almost are. It'd be more like here, which I know is like a really small difference, but you'll notice it when you pose. What's really more, there we go. Okay. It is the base model from ZBrush. You did a lot of good work here, bulking this up. I get you. I totally get doing some practice when you're tired, but I can only review what you send me. And if you want to make this even like bulkier, a really common shape here is this more like, can we call it like a Dorito shape? And notice how I'm using my move brush, I'm grabbing from very key points. I'm not doing this all over the model. I am grabbing like the shoulders and pulling them out, and like right by the pelvis and pulling that out, but with like kind of like a medium size brush. I hope that's helpful to kind of see the way you can build up a body and change it. And again, you don't need to be anatomically correct like it's ready to go into a textbook. However, stuff like this area is very distracting. So when you have that on a finished model, people are gonna be like, what is going on here? They might think he's like an elemental, and it might tell a story different than what you're intending. Yeah. Aloha says, I like the new made up muscles on the model. I think they look cooler than the regular ones. Honestly, like that kind of flow and the way that you have these flowing is appealing. It has a lot of good makings for like a superhero suit, honestly. Good stuff. Do you have any questions before I move on after big review? I think we're all set. I'll leave this here. And we are back to our character. Absolutely, I agree. Aloha mentions, honestly not a bad starting point. Very easy to go from this to accurate once compared to going from nothing to something. Exactly, like all the corrections I was able to do really quickly because there was a pretty good starting base there. So yeah, keep it up. All right, I'm gonna go into my head library so I can kind of construct this spooky scene that Foxy has suggested. I have a old goblin head, even an orc head. That'd be kind of cool. I really like this orc head. It's a little too detailed. I could probably pretty easily make this look like a dead head. Is there a good place to look at muscles? Let's see. I mean, you have the book already, actually. The Anatomy for Sculptors. It doesn't have to be the hardcover one. I'm talking about the blue cover book, but I know you bought books for this. So instead of going online, just use those. That'd be awesome. What questions do you have? If you can still ask them, I'll just answer them while I'm doing this. Whoop! I moved my whole screen around. There we go. All right, so if this guy is gonna be dead. That'd be pretty good, just as is. And we'll do a little circle right here for the spine. Gross. Awesome. We have a head. Yep. That's spooky. Okay, books it is. Absolutely, because like you spent money on these resources. Use them. You literally can just go to Google and type in like anatomy, human, reference, muscle, and you can get a million different things. But nothing's gonna beat the books that you've already paid for. Any other questions? And thank you, Aloha, for sending some more stuff to them. When it comes to fat on the body, is there a good rule to go by? Don't even worry about adding fat into the mix until you even know where the muscles go. Fat distribution is, a sneeze. It's in the same places on like everybody. Sorry. Anyway, it's really easy to add fat after the fact. Fat after the fat. Like for example, like it's a little different between men and women for the most part, like around like the belly, some parts on the back, and then around the neck as well. It's all in like the same spots, but you didn't even have this muscle here yet. So if you went to cover up what you already had by adding fat, it would just look more unconvincing. And you don't have to get super good at like sculpting like perfectly jacked muscle men, but you need to have some of these, a little better grasp of these bony landmarks first. Does that make sense? It's almost like fat would be a stylization, which is an interesting way to think about it. Cool. All right. Holding the sword up, one-handed in the victory pose, in his other hand, the head of a defeated enemy. So yeah, sword up and then head. For printing purposes and for clarity and for me, easy, I think actually I might have the sword in the ground and lifting the head up instead. That would be very, very interesting. Okay, study more of the bones, work from inside out, kind of. Another huge issue I see my students do, and just like other people are learning the body and how to draw the body, you don't need to become a doctor. Like, I've seen some people do studies where they like literally sculpt the bones and then literally add the muscle, and like, sure, it's like really, really tedious. You just need to understand the big landmarks and how things fit together. But you don't need to know this is a sternobasquioclide, whatever the fuck, muscle. Like, you don't need to be so specific necessarily, or like the way a muscle, like the striations, you know? It's just like big issues where I'm like, oh, you're missing, there's no collarbone. Like, that's a big mistake. That make sense? Could also have the head on the sword. Ooh, that'd be gnarly. Can you send me your version so I can compare and do some study? I'm not gonna do that because my version already has mistakes as well. I just don't want you to take that as like your Bible. Use the references you have in the book, that 3D modeling book, because it has a front, side, and back reference of the same model. Someone that put tens of hours instead of tens of minutes, like I just did. When you have a resource like me, like it's more of like talking through the process and showing what it looks like. But if you're going to study from it, you're just going to compound mistakes. And I would hate to do that to you. You can look at the stream, but weirdly I'm like, no, you cannot have the 3D model to look at. which feels kind of odd and funny. Okay. There we go, hand. Paint says, okay, thank you. It doesn't help that I need to find my book again. Yeah, I have noticed that you're kind of shortchanging yourself with the prep. You know, it's kind of like, what's a good example here? I like baking. I always joke about baking references where I'm like, don't judge your model before it's done, because it's like eating cake batter instead of waiting for it to be baked. So in this case, it's kind of like you're not taking the time to like get your carton of eggs, your milk, you know, the preparation into sculpting and whether it's your references, that is like the worst thing you can do to shortchange yourself on. Just set a timer for 10 minutes to clean your desk, you know, get a water, and then pick 2 good references. Just in 10 minutes doing that every time before you sit down, and it will completely change your outcome. Seriously. I had a flooded basement. I'm sure. Everyone's got stuff. Everyone's got things going on. My point still stands. I think a little bit of prep would go a long, long way. And sometimes when you got enough going on, like giant flooded basement and stuff to fix, sometimes the best thing you can do for your art is just taking a nap. Let's be real. I'm surprised how much that's helped me at times. Which is funny because like usually I'm excited about art and like in a groove, the last thing I want to do is not create and rest, but sometimes that's what you need. Okay, we are going to start posing. I'm using Transpose Master to do this. And I like to grab the arms and the legs and separate them into their own pieces right from the get-go. Notice that I'm very careful on like where I mask, and then I kind of clean up. So I don't want to deform the butt too much, but I want to make sure I'm getting high enough that I don't have this weird inner thigh thing. Polygroup that. Now I split these legs into a left and right. Nice. All right. I do need to find a reference probably of like holding a head and what the heck's gonna happen around here. Yeah. Paint, you get so many good references for me during stream. But treat yourself the way you treat my stream. You're like one of my go-to reference guys. Because I was thinking about this reference of the arm, and I was going to be like, Paint, find me that reference. And I'm like, oh, that's so ironic. Otaka says, baking is a bad example, because the dough tastes better more often than not. Okay, like cookie dough and like baking, like brownies. But like for a cake, no, that shit's disgusting. Oh my goodness. And Just Single was like, you're right. I'm gonna drop a cookie dough candy recipe in the chat. Go nuts. Aloha says, doing anatomy forms of the body with little to no references is the type of chaos I expect from Paint. This is true. I just have to be crunchy teacher. Meanwhile, Paint's like, I'm just a little guy. I'm doing my best. And then Paint, all caps, no, I can't do things for myself. I'm just gonna like gaslight you into doing stuff for yourself by asking for stuff. I'm gonna be like, what character do you want? And then I'm gonna DM you, be like, hey, can I have your help on this project? I need this, this, and this. And just give me your character. Yeah, I do get it. Like, it's a joke, but like, it's not a joke. I get you. So many things to practice. It's all gonna be worth it. Okay. My goodness. Is it a stream if I haven't roasted Paint for not using references? I feel like you know what's coming before I say it too. And like, of course you don't know what these things look like. I don't know what they look like. I have to look up references when I'm sculpting a chair. Like, much less an elbow. Elbows and knees are the bane of my existence. I don't know, I'm trying to do here. I just think that's a cool placement of the sword. Make it wider, scoot it back. Yes. References are so fun. Yes. Good. Go be a good influence. When do I get to start teaching you again, Empress? Are we going to start that this month or next month? You don't have to decide right now. I am just asking in case you happen to have an answer because I'm excited. I did this in an order that is now difficult for me. Can I just smear it? Don't do that. Do a good job. Oh, ooh, crash. All right. We'll do no job. Absolutely. Especially if you start talking about putting down mood boards in fabric exploration and translating. Empress says, soon actually. Are you nervous because it's been a while? Because if so, just let me know. We can like be super chill. Super chill about it. Oh wow, references literally holding ahead. That's fabulous. Thank you. I guess it'd be hard otherwise to specify that kind of... Oh my goodness, there is the chocolate chip cookie dough candy ingredients. Oh, that's... I can tell. Ooh, with walnuts too? What's candy coating? I don't know what that is. Thank you, Paint. I appreciate you. I feel like such a drill sergeant sometimes. Paint's like, my basement flooded. I'm like, so? Oh gosh. But like genuinely, I do mean it. Okay, so how are we doing? Empress says slightly because, spoiler, I want to submit the models I've worked on for review and I know they're going to get ripped, but it's for a good cause. That's true. I mean, if I was you, I wouldn't start with that because it would break my fragile little soul. But you know yourself better than me, so if you're like tough and shit, that's cool. I wouldn't do that. You know what might be a good exercise and a good in-between, Empress? Assuming you're not just tough as nails, and if you're fine, that's cool for you. Pick the pieces that you want me to review / rip apart constructively, lovingly, and construct your own little mini review. Keep it brief, you know, so limit yourself so you don't write an essay. And I say that not to preserve my time, but actually preserve yours. And clarity is huge. So look at your model and make it very simple, like 5 things that you did very well and what's successful, bullet points, and then 5 things you could improve and nitpick, and then 1 core issue. If you get a critique of the biggest problem with the model, pose, anatomy, expression, textures, pick like a big category. And that might be really, really, constructive for you as well, as opposed to just here's my model. I wouldn't be able to do that. I hate critique, if I'm being a little hypocritical, but I've also gotten really good at critiquing my own work, so it was pretty rare that if getting critique on my work, I didn't ever like, hey, fix this. Instead, it was like, hey, I want this and this to be better. How can I do that? That helped me a lot. Nah, I just gotta bite the bullet. Oh my goodness, that's so brutal. Okay, sounds good. I'm ready. The way I do it with paint is I usually do like one big review per week. That keeps it pretty time economical, and then they know like what rewards, I guess you could say, they could redeem a week. Are they drinking the blood of the severed head? No. No, they're not. Was not on my to-do list. That would be pretty metal, though. Oh, I didn't decimate the head, so I'm not going to pose it right now. Okay. I'm always entertained at how weird and stiff the pose looks until it's literally done. All the way done. I'm like, can you look a little good before it's finished? And it's like, no. Not even a little bit. I'm like, okay. And I guess I just won't worry about it. Oh, Empress, something I would like to put. I know you're busy, but before I review any of your models, would you be able to send me a mood board of kind of like the artist you want to be, you know? Because there's so many different directions right now. If I'm going to critique your work, I want it to be in the direction of what you want to be. You've already mentioned you like semi-realistic, which is kind of what I do. So my default critique might be plenty sufficient. But I just want to ask that, just in case. So I can start incorporating things that you really like, you know, in models. And it kind of becomes a game to spot the difference of like the models that you enjoy have this and your models do this. Sounds good. Yay, I'm glad. Bathing in the red juice of the enemy. It's not exactly cozy cooking. That's true, that is the vibe today. Yay, I would love you hang out with us. Yeah, in the secret stream. I would love that. All right, pose is starting to look good. Really slowly. It's really gonna look good on its own timetable, apparently. Yeah, the fun part about the secret streams and our Discord is that it doesn't even have to be like art focused. Like, you're more than welcome to stream video games and stuff. I do that pretty often. Try and get that elbow closer to the body, because the farther the elbow is from the body, the stiffer the pose tends to look. And I do want this to be like a more casual... okay, it's not very casual holding a severed head, but like relaxed-ish body language on the sword. Yeah. Aloha says, the big calls with everyone can feel like a team fight sometimes. I'm surprised how much people don't talk over each other. People are pretty successful at letting everyone have a turn and whatnot. That being said, Aloha, if that's going to continue to be nearly as popular as it has been, we are going to need to have more than one voice channel and maybe have it more subject-based. I don't know how to do that without people just picking clicks. Being like, well, I don't want to be in this channel because Aloha's here. You know? Instead, I'd like to theme it and be like, well, I'm going to do art. So if you want to talk about art, I'm going to go into this voice channel, you know? As opposed to like, it's noisy and this person's annoying. But I'm sure we can figure that out. People have already done a pretty good job at not being weird and trauma dumping. That's the only thing that, like, if I'm not around, if you need, if either of my mods need help on making sure people don't do that, talk to me. I have lots of good tricks to keep people on topic and not treating it like a therapy session. It is flattering though, it just means that people are comfortable. I like that. Alright, this pose is starting to actually look pretty good. Oh, this pec is so droopy. Get up there. No droopy pecs. You need to go way up there. Look at this good anatomy. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. Right here? Best work I've ever done. You can just totally tell what's going on there. Christ. I will fix that later. I will fix it right now. Alright, we're gonna do some smoothing. And clay brush. Lots of clay brush. That's not gonna be too bad. Now that I know more than nothing, I found that this isn't too bad actually. Oh, this elbow's in the wrong direction. How'd you get over there? I love going back from like, this isn't too bad, to like, oh, wait a minute, why are you, how'd you end up there? Gonna grab that collarbone and stick you all the way over here. And then there'll be an armpit, which I have come to like armpits because I know what's going on there now. Yeah, see? Ooh. Stuff happened, guys. Here's like that before area and then a few brush strokes. Bam! Like, stuff's happening. Yay. Still have a lot of work. But it looks like something. Just makes me happy. Just Lingual says, it's true. They all hate how loud and often I trauma dump. Would be like the last person to do that. So funny. What channels for talking about war crimes? Wherever Aloha is. Otaka says, I streamed near yesterday and we made fun of British food. That's nice. I love that. I miss the making fun of Aloha. I mean British food. Paint says we should do a game night where we are all playing a horror game together. For some reason, Roblox has amazing ones. Oh, no kidding! That would be fun if we all do a game night. And then Ataka says, to paint, I have an escape room game with horror maps. I played it with friends. I played it and streamed, and we talked about what to do, and that was super fun. That could be a good time. Why do you guys have to like scary things? But yeah, that could be fun. I think that could be a good time. Or we could like play Minecraft together or something that's not scary. You know, fun fact, the first time I played Minecraft, it freaked me out because it was nighttime very quickly and spiders, and I just, nope, and didn't play for a long time. And I'm not like an arachnophobe or anything. I'm a things coming after me aggressively phobe. Foxy says, hey, there are more Brits here than Aloha, and British food is great. Aloha says, everyone he acts like I'm feral, when in fact, I'm the most behaved and reformed of you all. I mean, you're kind of both. That's the fun part. You never know what we're gonna get exactly. Alright, where do I want this hippage going? I don't know. I'll have to come back to it. Who's pinging me in general? Foxy is.
The great thing about fusion.
Oh, I'm playing that out loud. What is that? Whatever it is, I mean, you undeniably can't tell me that looks terrible. I see fries. I see potatoes, which is good. And what I think is cheese and seasoning, so we're doing pretty good. The brown shit, I mean goop, I mean beans. I don't know about that. I don't know, I think this is a joke. Aloha says, in fact, after you left me, we had a very grounded and non-offensive conversation. The way that just makes me sweat immediately. I'm like, you know what? No more voice chat. No voice chat. It's like how kids can't swim in a pool when they're alone. I'm like, if I'm not there, no voice chat. On a real note, there are so many things I wouldn't be okay with doing if we did not have mods. So, huzzah to having mods. What happened to his face? Ah. Not the, like, anime lean I'm giving this guy. I like it. Oh, I can do some cool stuff with this muscle right here. Alright, we have a good start here. Minimal cannibalism mentioned. You were not inspiring confidence. The voice chat channel has been going so well, it's kind of hard for me to believe that we didn't just always have it. Alright, time to cut off his hands. Give him other hands. I can move the sword wherever. What's most important is that the hand, you know, connects to the body. How would I even... the hell? Thumb would be facing me more. More like this. More like that. And I can move this around. when I seam all that together, it's gonna look like stuff. Very technical talk over here. Not sure if you guys can follow the stuff into the stuff. A lot of shapey shapes going on. Then we're gonna flatten this to be more grabbing on top of the head. Again, more focused on connecting this hand to the arm than anything else, because I can move the props. Ah, it's really awful. I think this is going to be a really popular model. You know, Foxy already has a top 30 popular model requests. By far, the patron with the most top model requests is Otaka. I didn't even realize until they pointed it out. Or they didn't really point it out. They just mentioned like, oh yeah, that was mine too. And I'm like, oh wow, it was. Joke's on me, they just downloaded their own model like 50 times, so the number is all skewed. Because technically I'm just going by page views, so if you just viewed your own model like a million times, I guess you could cook those numbers. I don't know why I would tell you guys that. I mean, that doesn't matter. You wouldn't do that, right? Like, that's such a weird thing to do. Trails off. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Oh boy, what's going on? Oh my goodness. If you have the most popular model request at the end of the month, you should get a reward, like a head pet. That'd be fun. Just Single says, if I become legendary, do you think I could dethrone him? Probably. Just Single would be interesting if you were a legendary patron with a request, you could submit your own sketches. That'd be cool. That being said, things are gonna change probably, very likely, like within like soon. So if you like the tier rewards as they currently are, go join, because soon, probably, wink wink, request board's gonna be totally different for new tiers. Pretty much what we're thinking is anyone will be able to make a request, but you have to pay for it up front. So it's not gonna be baked into a tier reward anymore. Unless you're already a patron. Again, I don't want all the people, the immediate panic of like, I don't wanna do that. I'm like, guess what? It doesn't affect you. If you already are a patron, nothing changes for you. And I will always hold to that. Yeah, there we go. Change. Yeah, that's exactly. Oh my God, I can't stress that enough. Ricky and I are talking about changes in the Patreon, and I'm like, how about we just don't tell them? And he's like, we can't do that. And I'm like, no, we can, because current patrons, nothing will change for them. And I think it'd be better if they just didn't know. Foxy says, I have 2 requests in the top 10, both monstrosities. Oh yeah, you do. You might just be tied with Otaka. So that page I made isn't numbered. It's just like the most, it sorts itself by release date. So the actual top request right now is the Axolotl Hydra. So not in any particular order. But that stupid horse. Oh, I forgot all about that. No, I think he might be tied. Yeah. Aw, check. Just Lingual says Chegg got rid of their tutoring services. They're literally just AI and cheating now. I forgot all about Chegg. I might not have graduated without Chegg. I'll cancel Chegg and become legendary now. There you go. Hey, Just Lingual. I haven't put the new request board up, so if you do become legendary today, you can put your request in for March now and get your request in for April when I post it on the 5th. Stunks. Foxy says, "You're welcome, Mia." Oh, goodness. Somebody get the water spray to help cool Empress down. I know, we're gonna need like a horny stick. Stop. Payne says, "Mia, you need to show stupid horse." All right. We can do that. We are talking about it a lot to not highlight peasant. Here is the vault next release in 4 days. And then here is the most popular filter, which is not live updating because sad. I haven't made it, I'm not gonna get crunchy with you guys. It doesn't update live, but it will eventually. All right, yep, here is Foxy's request. Here's one, which is awesome. Genuinely super enjoyed sculpting this. It just, I don't know, it came together really easily, actually, and I'm really proud of that, the head. And then we have, by the same person, just want to be really, really clear about that. We don't like, I'm logged in as admin, so it's like super slow. We also have the dumb horse, which is beautiful and almost became a long sculpt, honestly. Nah, I had top chat again. I don't know why YouTube does that. But anyway, here is the majestic, fabled, 2-legged horse in all of its glory. I really did a better job on this than I needed to, but I couldn't help myself. Here is one of Otaka's. And there's another one. This is an older one from Otaka. This one has gone like mini viral on Reddit and TikTok like 3 times now. I know, because everyone's like, you should have a more active TikTok. And I'm like, hot take, if you're a content creator or whatever the fuck, you make art, just make more art before you spend tons of time trying to figure out the TikTok algorithm, the TikTok and the Instagram. Like, it's just it's such a fucking riot. It really, really is. I got like 1 sale from this getting like over 1 million impressions. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Anyway, Astral Void Syrup. I love this model. This is probably one of my own personal favorites because it's just kind of beautiful. Actually, not kind of, it is very beautiful. Yeah, that was a fun one. What other ones I got on here? I was so freaking mad that this one made it. So, fun fact, the wolf also made it, but it's my old wolf and it's super ugly, so I cheated and I did not include it because it's bad. And this one is also not very good. This is one of the first models I ever made. No. But the rest of it's accurate. The rest of it I didn't, yeah. I didn't cheat. Oh my gosh, Maverick's on here. I forgot that my own dog made it. It's one of the most popular. Oh, that makes me really happy. Good. All right. Very good. That is the vault. Go look at it. Wait, I was there for that. You were. Much wow. What a majestic creature. I forgot all about Doge. Much wow. That would be so fun to have a Just Lingual cooking stream. Oh, that would be fun. I would just be sad when I can't also have said food, but yeah. All right, this is pretty good, and I made the tabard very luscious, so that was a word choice. So it can sway in the wind. Let's not be weird about that. Okay. All right. Anyway. Sometimes you guys are actually, a lot of the times you guys are immature, and I am like, oh my god, They're so mature, but whatever. And then I act like that, and I'm like, oh. I guess I'm a hypocrite. Okay, something I really like about this and why I didn't change the weapon is because Foxy recommended this holding the head. It really cemented using the bone katana because this center portion here is a skull. So I love the idea of him literally collecting heads to then add to his sword or swap him out because I'm sure he breaks him. You know, good thing. No, Aloha, don't draw attention to the dumb things I say. I was like, oh, cool. I looked over in the chat. I saw no one said anything. I'm like, cool. That was just something I was silly about. But no one thought about that too. And then, okay. I think I was putting too much value in the 20-second delay between the actual stream and chat. Otaka said, I think it's funny that the axolotl looks so much like I had imagined, even though I only wrote axolotl hydra go nuts. Yep, that was the whole request. And Seraph is so different from what I had in mind, though that might make me my most detailed request. Oh yeah, that might be my most detailed request description, and I'm not mad about it. That's true. That's true. That's so fun. Yeah, I think you meant for it to be less sharp, much more like gaseous. Justin said, I threw a monk character I drew an art chat, but I don't think it would dethrone the axolotl hydra. I want to see. Share your art. Oh, it's so good, though. This is probably one of the best pieces I've seen from you so far. This is an older art I did based on some inspiration from my dad and my headcanon that an umbrella spear is a good weapon. I mean, this is fabulous. You have a very consistent way that you color. I think that's interesting. Oh, and you're colorblind. Anyway, you pick the same colors every single time. It was a comic book study. Yeah, it's nice. Oh, cute. And then Paint said, am I allowed to add this to my growing mood board collection? That's cute. Yeah, I love the spear as well. This is great. The feet look especially good. I feel the need to point that out. This is great. This whole character is great. Shit, I'll pay you to be in Legendary and give me a request. If you provide your own art. Oh my gosh. Just kidding, not gonna do that. That's bad business. I can feel Ricky being like, don't pay people to do... Oh, sorry. Oh, goodness. Much more human. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I think I got carried away in stream chat as well, so kind of my fault as well. You know, fun thing you could do is request it again and just kind of see what we get. Just, I don't know, if it's gonna be wildly different every time, that could be fun. Unless you actually need a character that looks like what you wanted, then maybe don't do that. Where's my scar brush? Just Lingual said, I was having a good time with the feet. Usually I am much lazier. I was gonna say, I'm like, damn, I'm impressed. Alright, I don't want to go overboard with the scars, but it's so hard not to. I feel like the classic is just like eyeball scar, but what about a good lip scar? Yeah, I like that. It's really small. How about I mask this area? And then I can make it much larger. Maybe I'll make it more of like a chin scar. That's cool. Ooh, I think it'd be cool to have like a really big, like parallel slashes on the thigh, looking like he got like a raked by like a tiger or something. That's super nice of you, Foxy. Watch the Axolotl Hydra become the first and second most downloaded. That would be funny. I don't want to go overkill with the scars, but this is also adding some much needed variation. I'm gonna do some like really healed scars as well. Just like little stuff. More like skin details as opposed to just like, there's a million. That one doesn't make as much sense. There we go. Cut off ear scar. I have a tiny little notch in his ear right now, but I do agree going further with that to make it adds some like really nice asymmetricalness to this too. Foxy says, my local zoo just had an escaped capybara. Well, I can't imagine it was escaped for very long. Here, let's do a notch. I'm gonna do a notch kind of low, just so this is a not compromised print. And I'll also make it a shorter ear as well. Nice. They took in 2 capybaras. 1 escaped. Freedom. What about a vasectomy scar? No. No. Just Lingual says, I literally just upgraded so I can request. And yeah, you can hit last month and this month then. I need to sneak in a capybara or a crab. That would be fun. I don't have any of those. Also, welcome to Legendary. That goes for anyone. That's not like a special just Lingual deal, by the way. Technically, if you're on the fence about joining Legendary, if you join right now, you can get a request in for last month and this in April. This guy looks pretty good. Why did she read that of all things? Just to be a menace. I also said it so fast and like mumbled, I don't think it was coherent. So I think we're good. Gotta keep you on your toes. All right, let's do a contrast slider. Empress always, or not always, Empress asked this once, and so now I will use her as an example forever of when to use a contrast slider. Here's a good example. Before, after. It just prints a million times better. So simple. I wish I could go back to every old model I did and just do a contrast slider. All right, we still need to adjust some details and whatnot, but as far as this stream is concerned, this model is complete. He looks pretty bitchin'. Glad you say so. The contrast slider can also be the enemy. If you don't put something together with some thought, it will amplify it. That's true. Oh, he's got this ridiculous double head, so... Why is the head completely shaded, but nothing else? Whatever, we're keeping it. Okay, this is going to be the time to screenshot. And we get just lingual art too. Smile, peasants. Very nice. Look how I gotta tilt my head way more than I think I do each time. Woo! Stram! Okay. And then we send a screenshot of this to Husband. So he can do thumbnail. I have a bunch of stuff I want to finish and work on today. I might go into voice chat after stream for a second secret stream, or I might not. Just, yeah. Should probably eat first. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, that was a fun one. Oh, stream is buffering. Time to end. Yeah, like the stream if you liked the stream you saw here today, and come back for more unhinged peasantry. This is the place. When in Tavern. When in Rome. Okay, great stream. Tavern is closed. Have a great rest of your day, peasants. May see you later in voice chat. If you want to be part of that, join Discord. If you want this model 3D print, plus literally hundreds and hundreds of other ones, join Patreon. All right. Get out.